I discussed 36. We'll read two shlokas today. 36 and 37. Avachavidam shabhutam bahum vidisyanti tavaita mindattasta samartyam tato dukkataram kim. Translation purport given by His Divine Grace Mukti Sham Srila Prabhupada. Your enemies will describe you in many unkind words and scorn your ability. What could be more painful for you? Lord Krishna was astonished in the beginning at Arjuna's uncalled for plea for compassion. And he described his compassion as befitting the non-Aryans. Now, in so many words, he has proved his statements against Arjuna's so-called compassion. Hato prapasyase swargam jitva va bokshayasi maham smaduttista kauteya युद्धाय कृतनिश्चयात्. O son of Skion, son of Kunti, either you will be killed on the battlefield and attain the heavenly planets, or you will conquer and enjoy the earthly kingdom. Therefore, get up with determination and fight. Even though there was no certainty of victory for Arjuna's side, he still had to fight. But even being killed there, he could be elevated into the heavenly planets. मम ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया शून्यमितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं. वञ्चाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां वैष्णवेभ्यो नमः. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवशरि गौरभक्तवृंद. हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे. मुखं करोति वाचालं अंगं लंघयते गिरं यत्कृपातमः श्रीगुरुदीनतारिणं. Hare Krishna. So, as per our discussion, the act of Arjuna was no doubt on a selfless plane. But that selfless plane is also causing us a trouble. It's an interesting aspect. No doubt what he is speaking is on a selfless. He doesn't want kingdom, he doesn't want any of those things. He doesn't want to give anyone trouble. He is not looking for any name and fame. All of these things seems to be right. But an interesting aspect we need to understand here. Any person in this world who is actually seeing the situation of Arjuna, he will actually stay on to the side of Arjuna only. He will not encourage killing. Matter of fact, just for a mere kingdom, why so many people have to be killed? These things will come. It's only kingdom, right? For kingdom, why have to kill? So-called non-violence, non-violence, non people who have non-violence, they immediately proclaim that yes, this has to be condemned. When Ashoka was given this heard the principles of Buddhism, he gave up his kingdom, started telling Buddham Sharanam Gacchami. Now that is a moment all the other countries invaded us. Is that invading good? It's not good. Why that invading happened? Because everyone started telling Buddham Sharanam Gacchami. Or that's okay, anyone can come, we will embrace them. What happened? That attitude, what happened? Debacle, falsification, exploitation. We started exploiting the women. They started telling Buddham Sharanam Gacchami. Is that right? It is not right. Buddha gave that principle for something else because everyone were exploiting on the name of Brahmanism, on the name of using Vedic literatures, on the name of the scriptures. They started killing animals. For that reason, he stopped. To stop that, he said, give up all of these things. Give up the scriptures, non-violence. Why? Because everyone were in that mode. They were using the scriptures to exploit. Now, through that exploitation, to stop one exploitation, non-violence came, but non-violence led to another exploitation. Countries started invading us because the kings were following non-violence. The leaders were also following non-violence. If non-violence is a solution, then Gandhi wouldn't have been killed or wouldn't have been murdered. Because following non-violence. But he was. His countrymen only killed him. It's an interesting aspect to think about it. Because Arjuna was also proclaiming similar non-violence. Krishna never accepted that. He rejected that completely. That's why he's telling, stop your so-called compassion. That means there is an illusion in goodness also. Please understand. For example, if a person is in tamo, one cannot immediately transform that person into sattva. He has to be given rajo. For example, if he is very sleeping, if he has to be awakened, he should be told, you know what, there is a snake next to you. What is that? He's in tamo, he has to come to rajo. To come to rajo, what is happening? He was being told that there is snake next to you. What is that? Rajo. Because from tamo, rajo has to come. Tamo is sleep, sleep, which is outside what is recommended in the scriptures, is in darkness. To awaken that person, or else crying, unnecessary crying. We see sometimes children cry for a reason, but sometimes seems to be unnecessary. Not that they are unnecessary, they are in the state of ignorance. So through that state of ignorance, he has to be stopped. For that, fear has to be brought in, something else has to be brought in. That means the state of rajo has to be brought in. So that the person elevates or comes out from rajo. Is rajo good? Rajo is also not good. One should come to sattva. Through that sattva, his rajo is diminished. So these factors are slowly being implemented. Here, Arjuna is in sattva only, but his so-called compassion to the family members, that's an ignorant state, illusion. Just like we fall under illusion. What is our illusion? We think that the inabilities of this world or this so-called things of this world will help us, but they don't help. What is that? Do they help? They don't help. But thinking that it is helping, that is an illusion. Just like Bhagavatam tells, Devi Devatas, right from Brahma, all the Devi Devatas are also kept in illusion with the supreme power of the Lord, the supreme potency of the Lord. What to speak of what to speak of normal jivas in this world? They are an illusion. What is it doing? Is it helping anyone? It's not helping. The person also doesn't know that he's an illusion. This is another illusion. That means he's continuously thinking, no, no, I'm not an illusion, but technically he's an illusion. Actually, if we realize the greatness of the acharyas, the illusion can be reviewed and then immediately been removed from our consciousness. Please understand, taking up of Krishna consciousness is the first step to come out of illusion. Today's quote also, Prabhupada is mentioning that the chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra, even though you are offensive, still you should continue chanting. But that doesn't mean that we will be continuing to chant with offenses. Because when we continue to chant with offenses, it will take lifetimes to come back to God. That's why when the training is done through the process of Shavana, and the training is applied into our life, then what is happening is, what is happening through this training? Through the training in Krishna consciousness, when we continuously hear about the truth and then understand our state, and slowly what is happening is we don't chant with offenses, rather we come out of these offenses. We're not chanting with offenses. So Prabhupada's general statement is, even though you're offensive, we should continue. Yes, definitely. But do we have to chant with offenses? No, we don't have to chant with offenses. That means we cannot stay in that state that that's okay, I will let me chant. Even though it is offensive, let me chant. Being told by Srila Prabhupada. Yes, Srila Prabhupada is being told by Srila Prabhupada, but this is for the personalities to inspire or to motivate them initially when they come to the process. Why it is important is, for example, I'll tell an example. Teacher goes to the class. Teacher is trying to develop a relationship with the students. Okay. Through that relation, what is happening is children make mistakes. Teacher is trying to tell, that's okay, you continue. It's okay. You'll continue. You continue, you will advance. You continue, you will learn this. Just hear, just listen. Teacher might tell initially those things, but the teacher will not continue telling those things again and again. Teacher will say, after the relationship is enhanced, the teacher will say, this is what you have to do. If you don't do this, it's a problem for you. Because if the teacher continuously tells that again and again, then what is happening is the student will be in a complacent state. The student will be in a state where that's okay, no matter what I'm doing, teacher is not doing anything. Let me just do what I'm supposed to do. That means if that fear is not being kept in the student will never move forward. Student is always thinking that that's okay, this is how it is. This is what exactly we see in the education in America and the Western countries. What we see is the teachers they come, they tell and then they go. They're not worried whether anyone is hearing or listening or doing or writing or understanding. In public schools, the students are left. I don't know how they teach in primary and middle school, but in the high school, especially in the public schools, I don't know how the private schools are. Couple of students are telling me that teacher will come, they just give an assignment, dump an assignment, and then they go. They don't have a relationship with the student. Why the relationships are not there? Because they never felt that. Dear devotees, if you just think about this one aspect, if you think about this one aspect, you will understand so many things. If Arjuna doesn't feel relationship with Krishna, do you ever think that Arjuna would have spoken all those things in chapter 1? He wouldn't. That means those words wouldn't come. Arjuna would have just kept those things in his heart and then just move on. He would have seen the battlefield. And then the moment Krishna has taken in front of Bhishmadev and Dronacharya, Arjuna would have felt that, oh, this is, I cannot do this. He would have just left the battle without even speaking to Krishna. Please understand. This is the difference between having a relationship, not having a relationship. There is active, passive, different states of relationships. So to the point of Vamshila Shrav asking this question, Vidya Vinay Sampanne Brahmane Kaviyas Suni Cheva Svapakya Pandita Samadarshi. So Krishna only told this statement also. One can see equally through the relationship with Guru and Krishna, not independent of them. Please understand. If one has a good relationship with Guru, with the spiritual master, with the acharyas, with their words, with the Guru Parampara, what do you mean by having relationship with them? Simply following them to the core of our heart. When we try to follow these teachings to the core of the heart, how does one follow the teachings to core of the heart? Through faith. How is that faith coming? Through the process of hearing. For example, there are holy places like Ahobilam. When you actually go to that place, I've never been there, I'm just telling. When you actually go to those places, you'll actually see the presence because I heard from my teachers. You actually go to that place, you'll actually realize, wow, this is where Narasimha killed. This is where Pralanmara stayed. This is where Hiranyakashipu did all the heinous activity which is not supposed to do. Wow, this is where Hiranyakashipu washed his, Lord Narasimha washed his hands. This is a place where Lord Narasimha killed Hiranyakashipu. Okay. The moment we see that what happens, what is this teachings or the hearing process? They become lively into our life. They become great. It's a great opportunity for us to understand that. It doesn't become superficial, but rather it becomes wonderful. Because what is happening is the faith on their words, on the teachings of the acharyas intensifies. Through which what is happening? A relationship, deep relationship is established with them. And then we wanted to follow their words more and more. Just like Arjuna, if he didn't had relationship with the Lord, he would have immediately left the battlefield. No question of second thought. भीष्मद्रोण प्रमुखतः. So when Krishna Senaya Rupayor Madhya Radham Savitam Achyuta, Arjuna is telling, Arjuna Uvacha Senaya Rupayor Madhya Radham Savitam Achyuta. He said, oh my dear Lord, please keep me in the center of the battlefield. I want to see both the sides. So this is the whole point. As Duryodhana doesn't have that relationship, Krishna did not speak the truth to him. See dear devotees, to transfer the truth also relationship is required. For example, your family member is there. Let's say the husband wife is there. Husband wife will share very intimate things. Not everyone will understand that. Not everyone will know. Do you think those kind of intimate things will be shared to everyone? No. Why? Lack of relationship. That's why, dear devotees, this Gita is very open actually. No one can understand. Why no one can understand? They don't feel relationship with anyone. Especially with the acharyas, with the spiritual master and the Lord. Because when this relationship is very strong, then you'll understand this Gita, and through this Gita, you will understand everything around. Otherwise, we cannot understand. Why? Because to the question, if the relationship, if we see different personalities in different ways, then here Krishna is telling to see everyone on an equal plane. The different levels of relationship, the different Kanishta, Madhyama, Uttama. There are different levels of respect also. Yes, obviously, you see, one relationship, husband-wife relationship is one state. Husband, the same husband, when he goes to the office, the relationship with his manager is in another state. Do you think that he will share all his intimate things with his boss? No, why? There's no relationship. As he doesn't have that kind of relationship, it's a common understanding that the sharing through that person is also not that state, it is a different state. Just like what husband is sharing to the wife is more intimate than what husband is sharing to his boss, or vice versa. Why? Now we can say Vidya Vinay Sampanne Brahmane Kavihastine. One should see everyone equally. That doesn't mean that seeing of the vision equally doesn't mean that our relationship is also equal. Please understand. That is two different things. Vidya Vinay Sampanne Brahmane Kavihastine. What is that? What is that vision? Because they are all part and parcel of the Lord. Who are they? Part and parcel of the Lord. That means Mame Vamsha Jiva Loke. That means every Jiva belongs to the Lord. Through that vision, it is same. For example, tiger is also carrying one state. Tiger is also part and parcel of the Lord. Doesn't mean that we go and embrace a tiger because I embraced a deer. Because everyone is equal. Let me go and embrace tiger. No, that is not possible. But we see them on an equal level, but our approach to them is different. We might extend our relationship to the deer, but we cannot extend our relationship to the tiger. Please understand. Because tiger is in another state, mode of is in mode of passion. But whereas a deer is in a mode of goodness. Or a cow is in mode of transcendence. Because she represents all the Devi Devatas, which is very divine. That means my approach to cow, my approach to tiger is not same. Likewise, my approach to every jiva, he will not be on the same plane. How will it be on the same plane? Doesn't mean that when I'm not on the same plane, for example, when I'm differentiating, doesn't mean that the person who I'm differentiating, I'm envious towards them. No, no, no. Please understand, this is another interesting, that's another important aspect which we need to understand. What is that is, for example, seeing everyone on an equal plane, that is, it is beginning. Yes, we see everyone on an equal plane. Through that equal plane, we don't harm anyone. We don't harm an ant also. If you don't harm an ant, how can I harm one's wife or one's children? No. As part of training, I can correct them for sometimes. At times, I can correct them. You know what? This is not right. You can tell the child, this is not right. This is not right. You are not supposed to do this. You're not supposed to do that. As part of training, we have to tell. Through the training, as we are telling, that doesn't mean that we are not respecting them. Or doesn't mean that we are envious of them. Please understand, there is a common notion which everyone would carry. We see this in the children. Oh, you're not talking to me. That doesn't mean that you don't have love towards me. The child will say, if you're not talking, then looks like you don't love me anymore. That means if a person is not talking, that doesn't mean that he doesn't have love. If a person is not talking, that doesn't mean that it doesn't extend the relationship. Arjuna is speaking here continuously. Krishna is not speaking here. Doesn't mean that Krishna doesn't feel that relationship with Arjuna. No. Krishna feeling that relationship through that relationship only is actually hearing. That means everything which we see eventually comes through the state of relation. And the relationship is not there, everything will be superficial. This is the whole point. This is a very interesting, important aspect which we need to conclude or come to an understanding. Because if you see, it's only by the grace of Acharyas we are here. Only by the grace of spiritual master we are here. Why? Because yes, because it is through their prayers a stone is eventually transformed into a deity, that Archa Vigraha, that means Lord personally comes and sits. Because the pure devotee is inviting inviting the Lord into those deities. Please understand. Is it not something wonderful? It is. Before that, it was a normal stone, but after the prayers of the Acharyas and his relationship with the Lord is ready to come to that position. Please understand, Lord, do you think that the Lord is very eager to come to New York City? Do you think that Radha Vrindavan Chandra or Krishna is eager to come to New York City? No. It is a call of Srila Prabhupada, pure soul. He invited, he called, please come and stay. Please stay in this temple. Please understand. What is he telling? Please come and stay here. Please stay in the temple. He is inviting the Lord. What is he doing? He is inviting the Lord. That means Lord is ready to reciprocate with his pure devotees. The Lord will respect. Now, what is he expecting? He is only expecting how much sincere we want to become through that process. It's very important. Yes, scriptures are telling we should see everyone equally. Yes, we see everyone equally. But even in that equal state, the relationships are different. That equal state is not giving respect on an equal state, but that equal state is seeing through the lens of the Lord as they are all part and parcel. Through that part and parcel, we are seeing them equally. Mameva Amsha. Oh, every person in this world is part and parcel of the Lord only. That doesn't mean that we will have a relationship with everyone in this world. Relationship is different. Respect is different. Cultivating simple heart in the heart is another thing. For example, I'll tell something. Oh, there is a Kanishta Adhikari, there is a Madhyam Adhikari, there is a Uttam Adhikari. Different states. Kanishta Adhikari is a person who just came to the temple and who is developing slow, little faith to the process, trying to understand Krishna is Supreme Personality of God. He hasn't yet realized it. He's understanding. He's hearing, he's knowing. Nothing manifested through him. What is that person presenting? Kanishta. Now, a Madhyama, what is that person? He has faith in the process, but he differentiates. What is that? He differentiates. If a person is envious, he will stay away from him. If a person is simple, then he'll try to give Krishna consciousness to him. What is Uttamadhikari? Uttamadhikari is seeing everyone on a state. That means Uttamadhikari, when you see him, you want to chant Hare Krishna. Now, when you see him, you want to take this signs of Krishna consciousness seriously. That means through his presence, he is invoking the divine consciousness. But the problem is, when the presence of that person goes away, then again we come to square one because we are not in that state. If you are in that state, you will continue to stay in that state. But when we are not in that state, what happens? When their presence is gone, taken away from our life, then our taking up of the process will be different. That means what we were doing before coming to that association will be there is a chance that we'll go back to that same association. Now this is very important because but if you see there are different grades. That means if a person is very serious in Krishna consciousness, do you think that you'll develop a deep relationship with that person who is Kanishta? You'll develop a relationship with the Uttama state. He'll also develop a relationship with Madhya. Because through this relationship, what is happening? He is getting purified. Now, through that relationship, he will avoid materialistic relationship. But he's seeing everyone equally. So they're all part and parcel of the Lord. But the way giving his respect is different. Very important because what is this is? This is a heart. This is a heart science. But if you find genuine Vaishnava, pure soul, never leave that association. Very important. So why this is very important is through that association, what is happening is those qualities are transformed, qualities are transferred. Here Arjuna is telling, right, to Krishna, oh my dear Krishna, I cannot kill these personalities. Why is he telling? Exactly because of relationship. He's opening up his heart. Because he knows there is no problem if I open my heart in front of Krishna. Please understand that. Very important. He knows that there is no problem. There is no problem opening his heart in front of the Lord with him. But this is very important. He knows. There's no problem. Why? Because he's feeling that relation. That means what is that? That relation is a key of everything. No, actually, another interesting aspect of seeing everyone on equal plane. Now, here Krishna, he himself is telling, why are you showing so called compassion to those personalities who are gone case, who are not following Dharma? Why are you seeing them on the greatest plane? Why you are avoiding them? Why you don't want to kill them? On one side, when we see Krishna is actually seems like he's encouraging this killing activity. But on the other side, when we see through the lens of Shiva Prabhupada, then it gives us a clarity and the spiritual master, because we cannot remove those two personalities, Prabhupada and the spiritual master. So, through their words, what is clearly been shown or portrayed to us is the compassion which Arjuna is showing is not the real compassion. Why? Because those personalities on the other side. But still he want to avoid that. He wanted to give respect. He wanted to see everyone on an equal vision. He doesn't want to kill, doesn't want to. That means for that he is ready to forget his dharma also, just like Ashoka. After hearing Buddham Sharanam Gachami, he readily gave up his kingdom and then started begging. For example, it's interesting, dear devotees. Here, Krishna did not proclaim that philosophy which Buddha has proclaimed, because the need at that particular point is not that. What is that need at that particular point is to establish the law. But the need when Buddha came to establish what? Establish non-violence. Because that is correct at that point. Dear devotees, please see the difference. That means according to time, place, circumstances, whatever is best, that has to be done. Please understand. That is the essence of everything. According to time, place, circumstances, whatever best has to be done, it has to be done. As per that time, place, circumstances, Arjuna killing is the best. Now, this gives the clarity that every moment one should require the association of the spiritual master, because he should confirm with him. Is this correct? Should I do this? These kind of things are not exchanged, then it becomes difficult because we don't know whether what we are doing is right or wrong. That's what Arjuna inquired from the Lord. I'm seems like I'm selfless only, but why these problems are coming? Why my Gandiva is shaking? Why my throat is choked up? Krishna is telling answer to it because of the so-called compassion which you are showing in this world. Dear, what is any compassion which is devoid of the love or presence of the Lord? Is that what? That is just falsified. That means that is on the material plane. Anything which is done on the material plane which will not give satisfaction to the heart. That means the sadhaka has to be completely freed from that materialistic consciousness fully. then there is a scope to understand. Otherwise, it's difficult. So that's how the shloka Vishavinyavartan Vidyavina Sampana is connected here. So to the point of Subal Prabhu is GoFundMe or any of the other funds which is asking for some money for some health crisis or some issues. What is that doing, dear devotees? Is it helping? For example, let me tell an example here. Let's say I have $4 million. Just an example. Or let's say $1 million. All the savings, let's say 1 to 2 million. Let's say $2 million. And then there's a beggar who came to the street. And then you gave him $10. Oh, we immediately began to think, wow, I gave this beggar $10. Is this good? Or will I get karma? Because this Prabhu, he knows little Krishna consciousness. Then he's telling, will I get karma? Will I go to hell through this karmic reaction? Or all he did is he gave 10 rupees to the beggar. Because as I gave $10 to the beggar, he might misuse that $10. Through that misuse, I might get karmic reaction. There's some another aspect. Let's say $2 million you have. And then 750K you gave it to your son, another 750 you gave it to your daughter. Then 500 you're maintaining for your maintenance, using it for your maintenance. Let's say the son and daughter, they did so much sense gratification and then enjoyed the hard-earned money which you gave. Now, through that, don't we get karmic reactions? That means for $10 karmic reaction, we're thinking so much. What about the other thing which we have? How is that spent? No, don't we get karmic reaction through that if that is not spent in correct way? Exactly. Let's say you did a donation of $10 to that GoFundMe, but $2 million are used in sense gratification. Now, which is the problem? Giving $10 to that person who's in need, is that a problem? Or giving or spending $2 million for sense gratification, is that a problem? Which one will give karmic reactions? Actually, the $10 which you gave to that GoFund, that gave you some punya. And all the money which we have that was used in sense gratification, what is that yielding? That is yielding papa. We'll go to hell for that. I remember elderly personalities do tell me, keep it for you, keep something for you, keep something for your family members, you have children, keep something, keep something. Okay, as per Rupa Goswami, whatever is told, that will be kept. Nothing more than that. Even that is also used very intelligently, not for any other personal motive here. Why this is so important, dear devotees? Because we deal with this every day. Don't you deal with your money every day? You deal with your money. Don't you want that money to be purified? That's a desire. That depends on the desire of the jiva. If the jiva doesn't desire anything, he will just continue with whatever he has. That means his karmic reactions is not removed. Dear, what is another interesting aspect here? Now we're discussing with something which is very sensitive. If a person is not feeling the relationship, he'll feel this as heavy. Why? Because a person is not feeling. That's why Krishna consciousness is heavy to so many people. Now, this is also one of the reasons why people don't hear. Because these are all heavy things. And if I begin hearing these things, then there is a chance that I might also come to the state of submission or surrender. That's why a lot of people don't hear. Because not just this, but also through so many attachments in this world. The so many and so-called attachments of this world are the greatest obstacles in this world. Because I'll tell you something, dear Lord, the small, small things have big impact, a big effect on us. So the answer for that, dear devotees, GoFundMe giving $10 for that is not a problem. What is a big problem is how all the money which we have, we are spending them. Not the financial advisor, but I can tell you something. If that is not spent for the pleasure of Guru and Krishna, that will bring us greatest obstruction in our Krishna consciousness. For sure. Why that is for sure is because these are all the signs and proof that our relationship with those personalities are not yet established. That is not a problem also. Because I always feel this to myself that it is due to my lack of understanding, it is due to my lack of taking up the process, I'm able to give this truth correctly. Because I remember my spiritual master telling the preaching should be in such a way that the devotees should feel inspired to give their life to the movement. They should be inspired, not that they should be forced. Bhakti doesn't come through force. Yesterday I was talking to a few devotees, and then after that I was telling, if I spoke anything wrong, please excuse me. Why? Because that is so important. Why it is because we are not here to put anyone down. That doesn't mean that on the other side we are compromising the truth. No, compromising the truth should not be done. That means one shouldn't compromise on the truth because this person will not hear or agree. No, no, no. Truth has to be spoken, but with good attitude. Let's say if a child is infected, is wounded, he fell down. That means do we leave that wound just like that? Or do we keep hiding? Do we clean up everything? Do we keep hiding? Oh, I cannot keep hiding because oh it hurts the child. I cannot do that. I cannot clean the child because he's crying. Do we think like that or do we keep the hiding? We keep the hiding. We clean up the wound, keep the hiding, tape it with cotton, and then ask him to take rest. Oh, he's crying, I cannot do this. No, no, no. Even if he's crying, you should do this. But the doing should be with love. Likewise, breathing should be like that. It should be with love. Truth should not be compromised. On the other side, we are compromising on the relationship. Relationship has to be withhold. Relationship has to be strengthened through the truth. That doesn't mean that we avoid that person, or that doesn't mean that we are envious of that person. No, 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 no. None of those things. Everything has to be done on the clean slate. And on the other side, I'm not telling that wherever their GoFund is there, you should go and fund them. I'm telling you something. If you fund your money correctly for Guru and Krishna, you don't have to do any of those things. But if you're not funding your money to Guru and Krishna, then then it is a problem, no matter what we have done. That means watering the root. If watering the root is not rightly done, then the tree sapling will be gone. Likewise, whatever we have, Manasa Dehage, Jokichum, Arpira, Topadananda Krishna, everything belongs to you, my dear Lord. If this attitude is not there in the disciples' consciousness, then the disciple will not be benefiting through the process of Krishna consciousness. Very important. And these words nobody will tell. These words are only heard through relationship, not through the other way. Because the personalities are actually feeling. They know what is real Krishna consciousness. That doesn't mean that others don't know. They also know. Whoever they are connected through the relationship with that person, he will also tell the same thing. He will not tell anything different. Please understand this. Srila Prabhupada is there in the Guru Parampara, but Arjuna's name is not there. But Krishna is told to Arjuna also. But Arjuna's name is not seen in Guru Parampara because he just came to give inspiration. Srila Prabhupada is far, far more. He came to transform. That's why he's Acharya. That's why his name is there in the Guru Parampara chart. This is that kind of a person. What you have to do, you have to just follow. All the words which you are discussing is his words only. The words of the spiritual master only. There's nothing new or different. So that thing is more important. The focus in that and that thing is more important. When our funding distorts Guru and Krishna, then go fund you, even if you ignore, that's okay. Because other people will do. Other people will do that service and then they'll get the punya for that. We just pray for those jiva and then move on. But what is important is, are we funding Guru and Krishna? That is most important. Because if our funding to Guru and Krishna is not established, then those funds will be given to our descendants, and then they will use it for sense gratification, and then definitely through that we will be suffering. We get sinful reactions. For sure. No doubt about it. A lot of people will say, why bad things are happening to me? Because sinful reactions are coming. We have done sinful actions before. Then now we are reaping from that. But when we are fully Krishna conscious, those sinful activities are removed. Nehavikramanasosti pratyavana iddhate swalpam apyasya dharmasya trayata mahato. Very important. This you need to understand. That means whatever little endeavor is being done, that little endeavor is not diminished after this. Hare Krishna. Let's stop here. Anyone would like to add? Would like to share? It's fine. Subal Prabhu, Amshila Prabhu, did that address your questions? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dhanat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Thank you, Prabhuji, for the wonderful class. The question I had the other day was about the Samadarshana that comes in chapter 5. And we were discussing about discrimination in the previous class. So that
So your question was in a different way?
Yes, Prabhuji, your message the other day was about understanding the difference
Correct.
of people and then respecting them differently. And then we know from the verse Vidya Vinit Sambhane
Yes, Prabhu.
Brahmane. So in that verse, Krishna says the learned have Samadarshana. So how to reconcile these 2 points is what the question was. And
So Samadarshana, we see everyone on an equal state. That is one aspect. But respect is another aspect. Both are different. Samadarshana means we see everyone with an equal vision. One state as an part and parcel of the Lord. We see everyone as part and parcel of the Lord. A Muslim, an ant, a cat, a dog, everyone. But when we see a Vaishnava, a pure soul, he is also part and parcel of the Lord. But his part and parcel of the Lord is totally different because he's intimate. On one state, we also see him as part and parcel of the Lord. But the way we approach him is totally different. That means seeing in a way as part and parcel of the Lord, that is a beginning. But the more we go deeper into the process, then our vision is changed based on their absorption or understanding in Krishna consciousness. That doesn't mean that we are envious of them, no. Samadarshina only. Just like we discussed, right? Just like a because you brought up that point yesterday, I was thinking that you are asking how this both has to be correlated. That's what I that's what I explained. So the clear understanding here is no doubt they are same only. But the way we see, especially with the different states of devotees, is different. That doesn't mean that they're not part and parcel. They're part and parcel of the Lord only. But we understand through the lack of awareness they're in that state. For example, and this is not to judge anyone also. This is not to put anyone down also. That is not the mentality either. The whole idea is everyone is same, but on one state, as part and parcel of the Lord. Through that part and parcel of the Lord only, but some are unique in them. Just like father has 10 children, the father would see 10 children on the same level as their sons. But one son is very obedient to him. So his attention to that one child is different. That is what I'm trying. That is what I want to explain. When the father is seeing that child in a different state, that one child, that doesn't mean that he's not having respect to the other persons, or his vision is different, or he's not treating them on an equal plane. He's treating them equally, but he has special affection for his child. That is what I wanted to share. Is that okay?
yes, Prabhuji, thank you very much. And also the point was about compassion. We should
Correct.
give compassion in the right way. Um, so even when Krishna kills the demons, he's giving them compassion, though it looks externally that he's killing them. But for them, the best compassion is to separate them from the body because of their sins. So
Arjuna is also doing the same based on the words of the Lord. Just he just kills all these personalities. But Krishna says, I've already killed them. You don't have to kill them again. It's already been killed. So through their words, he's just following. Just like Krishna is killing those personalities. And then based on their relationship with the Lord, they'll get that kind of destination. But Duryodhana is also killed, but Duryodhana doesn't have a relationship with the Lord. As he doesn't have a relationship with the Lord, he gets a passive connection with him, but not an active. Eventually, when he comes to the state of pure devotion, then he gets an active relation from the passive. That means at every moment, Lord is reciprocating with his devotees based on that devotee's state of consciousness at that particular moment. He killed Putana also, but through that Putana killing, the Lord gave her greatest position. Why? Because she desired that I have to feed him. It means she was feeling that relationship. That's why Lord sent her to the spiritual world. Not everyone would go there. Adasura did not go to the spiritual plane. Arishtasura did not go to the spiritual world. But Putana went. None of them felt the relationship with the Lord. Putana felt little relationship with the Lord. Please understand, just that little feeling, that little relationship with the Lord is taking him to that position. What to speak of devotees who gave their life to the moment? That's why whenever I see any devotee who gave their life to the moment, I respect them, I adore them. I want to touch their feet, I want to take their remnants. Because they gave their life. But they are also part and parcel of the Lord. But this part and parcel of the Lord, but this part and parcel of the Lord is not there, is not an ordinary part and parcel of the Lord. He's a special part and parcel of the Lord. Because he feels that relationship very intimately. That is the difference. And we should understand the difference. Otherwise, it's material oneness. If we don't understand the difference, we cannot. If we don't understand the difference, we cannot follow the difference. When we slowly understand the differences, then we'll actually follow the process more. Today, our spiritual master is also sharing on this state of submission and surrender. Superficially, on one state, one can proclaim that he's surrendered, but he's not fully surrendered. But that person is proclaiming that he's surrendered. That means his proclaiming of that surrender is not actually the real surrender, but on an illusory plane, he's thinking that he's surrendered. He's not yet there. But he's thinking. But his thinking doesn't mean that he's surrendered. See how much deep one should go. It's a churning process. Bhakti is a process of churning. Consciousness has to be churned more and more. Very important. That is a whole point. Duryodhana was also there, but he couldn't understand the Gita. He was not feeling that. But Arjuna is feeling the relationship. Through that relationship is only compassion. But Krishna is telling that is also wrong. Because through that compassion, you're actually coming out of your dharma. Going outside the dharma is the greatest obstacle. Now, how can you be compassionate for that? Through that compassion is actually suffering so many millions of people. Because through that so-called compassion. Arjuna might proclaim, oh, I'll be compassionate to every jiva in this world. Oh, Krishna is telling that is wrong. How can you be compassionate to everyone? And the other side, he only proclaims that Vidya Vinaya Sampana Brahmane Kavya. The same Krishna is telling that why you are compassionate here, that same Krishna is telling Vidya Vinaya Sampana in 5th chapter. It looks confusing, but there's no confusion here. When we feel the relation, there's no confusion. That is what exactly Srila Prabhupada gave. Loving relationships, Krishna consciousness. That's what he said. You should see through the vision of Arjuna. That means wherever Arjuna consciousness is mismatched, our consciousness is also mismatched there. How Arjuna came out of this mismatched consciousness, we should also come out of through that mismatched consciousness. Karpanya dosa pahata samao. That means when we put into action the devotees, then only you see the signs of progress in Krishna consciousness. Put into action. Very important. Whatever way, whatever best way we can put, we should do that. Hare Krishna. Nice. Thank you, Prabhu. Is that okay? I'm sure that's Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhuji. Also, in some places we always hear that we should consider ourselves the lowest, because some people, even though they are in Maya, in the future they can become great. So we shouldn't consider ourselves higher than them. Always think ourselves
Correct.
lower.
Correct.
And so we can respect everyone. Again, internally we think that we are the lowest, but um, we should treat everyone according to their position, because if they are in Maya, then treat them with compassion. If they are equal, then with friendship, and if they are higher, then of course treat them with the greatest, externally show the respect.
Exactly. Exactly. We should be compassionate, but that compassion shouldn't deviate from our dharma. That is also important. Should be compassion. The state which you are mentioning is a passive state, Prabhu. Where compassion is general compassion is there to every jiva. It's a passive state. But that passive state shouldn't disturb our prescriptivities or shouldn't deviate from our process. That is what exactly happened here. The compassion deviated from his prescriptivity. That we should check. That is the whole point of this discussion. Otherwise, why to discuss? Why Arjuna's compassion is actually a problem? Arjuna's compassion is a problem because that is actually avoiding him to do his prescribed duty, which we discussed actually. Likewise, our so-called humility shouldn't avoid us from our prescribed duty. That means our serving to Guru and Krishna should be the number one priority. That should be the target. It might not be there now, but we should aspire for that. Because that desire has to be developed. Humility is good. But I'll tell something. One time a person was been asked, "Oh Prabhu, he is a president of a non-violence movement. He represents non-violence. He says if your daughter has been abducted by some person, what do you do? And you are the head of the non-violence movement. He says I'll be non-violent. The immediate answer is that is the greatest violence you are doing. You have to protect your child. She is dependent on you. You have to fight for her. You have to die for her if required. But you have to protect her. That is your responsibility. That means your duty, or you shouldn't avoid your duty through the so-called non-violence. Trinadapi Sunichana is great. But if there is a need or a requirement, for example, if a Vaishnava has been offended, or for example, if a Vaishnava has been put down, we should be heavy on that. If we cannot be heavy, we should go run from that place. But we cannot stare there and then see the cinema. No. That means, as per time plus circumstances, everything has to be addressed correctly. Very important. Arjuna is feeling that relationship with Krishna. That is why he is sharing all these intimate things. Duryodhana is not. That's why Duryodhana's heart is never addressed. Arjuna's heart is addressed because through that prescribed duty, there is a problem. He's avoiding his duty. That should not be done. The duty has to be continued. That means Krishna consciousness has to be continued irrespective of our situation. A lot of people will say, I'm very busy, I cannot practice now. I'm doing this, I'm doing that. Or I'm initiated, I'm already initiated, I'm already a devotee. So I think I don't have to do Shavana and Kirtan anymore. I don't have to be an active listener. I'll just do it in a passive state. These things will not help. Prabhupada says, just like a parrot is also telling Hare Krishna. But when a greatest obstruction came into our life, parrot is not telling Hare Krishna. It is using a parrot language, something else. Prabhupada exactly says this. If the Krishna consciousness is not taken to the heart, you'll exactly do like this very important. That's why whenever I hear that, I always feel that I should take this process more on a serious level. I'm not yet there. I'm trying. Should try more and more. Try more and more to be sincere. I'm not there, but I'm trying. It's very important. Hare Krishna. Yes, Ram Shilop, please share.
Thank you, Prabhuji. This was very good discussion. Uh, yes, I understand that we have to act in different ways based on the time, place, circumstances. We shouldn't take shelter of, always saying that we are the lowest, so we can't. We should always take anything. But in certain instances, we have to act in a way that Krishna wants, just like Arjuna is asked to fight and don't misplace the compassion. And we have to know the right, because if we show compassion in the wrong way, just like if we give money to a drunkard, he'll buy more drinks and it'll be bad. So we have to show
Exactly.
the right compassion.
Exactly. That money has to be used in the service of Guru and Krishna. That is the best. That is the highest actually. Because the rapid progress in devotion life is simply following the words of the Acharyas. You don't have to do anything. These are Prabhupada words only. You have to just follow their words. That's it. I remember Sricharashi telling one thing very beautiful. He said, you don't have to do anything. You just have to do. You just have to follow as per what Srila Prabhupada is telling. Simple. Bhakti is very simple. But we need to have a person who has to tell that. That's what I said. And we should develop a relationship with that person. And the relationship is established, everything is established. Just like Arjuna's relationship with Krishna, which we discussed at the beginning. What was that? Arjuna, if Arjuna is not feeling the relationship with Krishna, he would have never disclosed all those things which he shared in chapter 1. The moment he has been kept in the position of Bhima and Dronacharya would have left that place out of fear. Because everyone will think, because he doesn't know what everyone will think. Oh, this is difficult, what they will think of me, what they will think of me. I'm not a devotee, I'm not this, I'm not that. He will immediately leave that place because he doesn't have a relationship with that person. But as Arjuna has that active relationship with the Lord, what is happening is that is actually helping him to come to that state of surrender. Because he opened up his heart. He received a response that I cannot solve this problem independently. Through that understanding, he submitted himself. That's the key actually. Yes, no doubt to your point, yes, we are low. Through that law only we are doing this. We are doing this. Through that law only we are doing the prescribed duties. We are law. We will never be superior. We are always law only because that is our position. But through that position only we are doing the prescribed duties for their happiness through that relationship. Very important. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu. Subha Prabhu, did that address your question also?
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
It helps a lot.
Thank you all very much. Srila Prabhupada Maharaj ki jai. For caution inconvenience to my words, please excuse me. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you very much.
Yes, Vamshila sir, you're singing, Jaya Jaya Jagannath. Please.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare
Yes,
Krishna.
yes, Prabhuji. Thank you. Yesterday was Panihati festival, and
Yes.
tomorrow is Snan Yatra. So let's sing a bhajan that worships both Gauranga and Lord Jagannath, written by Vasudev Ghosh. This bhajan is in Bengali. Jaya Jaya Jagannatha Sachiranandan Tribhuvana Kore Jar Charana Vandan नीलाचले शंख चक्र गदा पद्मधार नदिया नगरे दंडा कमंडलुकार के हो बोले पूरबे रावण बदीला गोलो केरवै भव लीला प्रकाशा कोरीला श्री राधार बाबा एबे गोरा अवतार हरे कृष्ण नाम गोरा कोरीला प्रचार वासुदेवा गोशा बोले कोरी जोड़ा हाथ जय गौरा से कृष्ण से जगन्नाथ जय जय जगन्नाथ सचिदानंदन त्रिभुवन कोरे जार चरण वंदन Hare Krishna. Translation. All glories to the dear son of Jagannath Mishra and Sachi Devi. All the three worlds offer prayers unto his lotus feet. In Nilachala, he holds the conch shell, disc, club, and lotus flower. While in the town of Nadia, he holds a sannyasi staff and water pot. It is said that in olden times, as Lord Ramchandra, he killed the demon Ravana. Then later, as Lord Krishna, he revealed the splendorously opulent pastime of Goloka. It is he who has come. He has come. Oh, from Raja, he has come to Nadia, accepting the mood and luster of Sri Radha. He has come from Vraja to Nadia. He has come. Now, Lord Govinda, the cowherd boy, has come as Lord Gauranga. He has come distributing the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Vasudev Ghosh says with folded hands, he who is Gora is he who is Krishna, is he who is Jagannatha. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much for the opportunity to share this bhajan before Snan Yatra that starts tomorrow, where the Lord is bathed and then he goes into for 2 weeks. His darshan will not be available, and then Jagannath Ratha Yatra will start in Jagannath Puri. So very auspicious time to start thinking about Lord Jagannath on his wonderful pastimes in Jagannath Puri. Hare Krishna. Now we can do Prem Dhani prayers. Jai Om Vishnupada Paramahamsa Parvijacharya. Ashtotara Shata Abhay Charana Ravinda, His Divine Grace Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. ISKCON BBT founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupada Paramahamsa Parvijacharya Ashtottara Shada His Divine Grace Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Thakur Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. अनेक कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की
जय
जय। नामाचार्य हरिदास ठाकुर की जय।
जय
प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय।
जय
श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय। वृंदावन धाम की जय। मायापुर धाम की जय। जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय। द्वारका धाम की जय। गंगा माई यमुना माई की जय। भक्ति देवी तुलसी देवी की जय। समवेद भक्त वृंद की जय। गौर प्रेमानंदी हरि हरि बोल। All glories to assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories, all glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga. मां विष्णु बताए कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामिन्नि नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशधारिणे मुखं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं श्रीपरमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्य ईश्वरं गुरुवे गौरचन्द्राय राधिकाय तदालये कृष्णाय कृष्ण भक्ताय तद्भक्ताय नमो नमः। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधो जगतपते गोपेशा गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुपश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। Hare Krishna, dear devotees, have an amazing Krishna conscious Sunday. Hari Hari Bol.
हरी हरी बोल। उसके स्वामी शिवलास प्रभु जी की
Swami
जय।
Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
सरस्वती माता की मीना माता जी all devotees की जय। श्री प्रसाद की जय। Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for the wonderful version and explaining about. Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Hare
Wonderful.
Krishna, Subala Gopal Prabhu ji ki jai, Basudhi Mata ji ki jai, Devi
Jai,
Mata ji ki jai,
Jai,
Sri
Hare
Prabhu ki jai, Jai Srila
Jai.